Hey guys, what's happening? Gene here from the All-American Kayak Series. We are here at Lake O' the Pines. Did I say that right?
You did.
All right. And I am here with one of the area's most premier guides that we have out there, and a flat-out hammer, Mr. Brian Vickery. Brian,
hey,
thank you for joining us, brother. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
So the whole purpose of this, as we've been working with the All-American Kayak Series, this whole episode is brought to you by the True Patriot Outfitters. This is a kind of a joint effort we're going to be doing this season here, and this is just to kind of give you guys, number one, some basic lake info, introduce you to Brian, his guide service. If you're not fishing a tournament and you're in the neck of the woods, this is the guy you're going to want to talk to. So talk to me, man. You've had tournament experience quite a bit. We were just talking off air. Dude, you have like a solid resume there, man. You fishing the Cowboy division down here. For you guys that don't realize, in the MLF, what was formerly FLW, Cowboy division is one of probably the hardest divisions to do well. And dude, you did really well. I mean, top five in points coming in. I mean, what was that season like?
Well, it was just one of those seasons where cumulative points, you looked good, but tournaments, you're always just right outside the bubble, just outside the check line or barely in the check line. And it was just, you just kind of eke your way through it and try to be as consistent as you can. But I have kind of bad luck when it comes to fishing tournaments, because I always seem to break off a fish or lose a fish that I really needed, and then it's just my luck. I've got bad luck.
We might be related because
it's the same every tournament angler's excuse, but I've got a T-shirt for it at home. I promise.
That's right. Yeah, man. It's and down here, I mean, you guys grow them flat out big. Last night, everything is bigger down here. Last night, that sky opened up.
Yes, sir.
A lot of rain. So talk to me about Lake of the Pines here. Is she up? Is it down? Where's it kind of sitting right now? Is this kind of normal average for it?
So by the Corps of Engineers, the normal lake level, if you look on their website, is 228. That's the elevation for the lake.
Okay.
We're at 229.43, which is just a foot and a half over.
Wow.
They have the spillway open right now. They're kind of pulling some water. I think there's about 1833 is what they're pulling on the lake. So Lake of the Pines was built in 1956. It's actually a flood control lake to protect Caddo Lake and Jefferson, the city of Jefferson. So what they do is they'll catch all the rain coming through the Little Cypress Basin, let Caddo and Little Cypress kind of go down, and then they'll do controlled releases to try to shuttle the water through without causing any problems.
Stuff.
So going into the spring, we'll either, we'll be around that 229 mark, or preferably 231 to 232, which in my opinion, that's the best time for this lake, because it brings a lot of the shoreline cover into play.
Gotcha.
We have lots of buckbrush, lots of just, I don't know what kind of bushes they are, but once there's a foot of water in those fish really key in on that.
Nice.
Now that's just kind of about normal.
Okay.
Shallow water flats. Looks pretty clear, even though we just had the big rain last night. Now the upper end of the lake above 155 will kind of muddy up for a little bit, but the lower end of the lakes, we were just out there today and it was nice and clear, and it looked great today.
So I've been buzzing today. We're still in off limits, so I can't touch the water, but I've been driving, checking ramps, and that's what I noticed. Up there still kind of is definitely a stain, like maybe 6 to 12 inches of visibility if you're lucky up there. Down here looks way cleaner down this way towards the dam, I guess, down this way.
That's right. And then water temps are anywhere from 61 to 63 degrees, so everything's right. Everything's right for the girls to pull up.
I was going to say it's setting up.
We caught some pretty good ones today,
nice.
But I wouldn't say they're on the beds just yet, but they're right there. So.
Nice. Well, and then as this next week goes on, everything is going to be probably, determined by what we see in the weather, right?
Yeah.
It's like, are we getting more rain? Is that coming in? That tends to cool it down when you start. We just had that in Gunnersville, man.
Right.
Got blasted. I know in practice, some guys were finding them on beds. Those storms come through a couple days, cooled things down, they pulled out.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh no, it's going to change up a lot of stuff.
And we just came off a full moon, and so if you go by conditions with full moon and the water temp, that's pretty much all we spend time doing is looking for beds. But it's really hard to stay in that cleaner water, And of course, we haven't had much sunshine, so we couldn't see them today. You just basically try to cast where you think they're going to be.
So now what feeds in? Because I noticed on the far north side there, the water was flowing that way. It seemed like the current was pushing out,
Okay.
which seemed odd to me because the dam's down this way. So are there multiple feeders that it does? Or?
So Lake of the Pines, you have, it's Little Cypress Basin is what feeds the lake from above 155.
Okay.
And then as you come below 155, you've got several little feeder creeks, Medlin Creek, Copeland Creek, Johnson's Alley, and then we're in Hurricane.
Yep.
And then you got one more south of us, which is Buckhorn, which is right by the dam. So
and these are all feeding in.
Yeah, they just feed in. They're not big, rivers or anything. They're just creeks that, they just kind of feed into the lake. We get a bunch of rain, and it all just kind of comes in from everywhere.
Awesome. So what would you say, last question here on this, if you had to classify this thing as, highland res, lowland res, grass lake, what would you call this place? It seems kind of weird to me. I couldn't put a label on it myself.
I would be more lowland reservoir, man-made reservoir, but so above the bridge, you're looking at shallow water grass flats, 3 feet, 2 feet tops, under normal water conditions. That's where 90% of the hydrilla is. Gotcha. Milfoil, gator grass. It's just a whole different world up there. It kind of looks more like a bayou, when you go above the bridge. Down here, you got lots of deeper water, traditional timber, flooded timber, rocks, humps, and stuff like that.
So I'm in Texas. You just said the word bayou. Gators in this thing or no?
I've only seen 1 or 2 alligators in my lifetime. I mean, I've had buddies see them, but they're usually above the bridge.
Way above the bridge up there?
Yeah, like now Caddo Lake. Caddo Lake's got them in there, but that's that's the oldest oldest lake in Texas.
Well, and what you guys can't see is right beneath you are my kayaks here. So these Hobie guys and the Old Town guys, they have these real tall walls, these sidewalls on their kayaks. My new canoe, they're beautiful machines, but that'll fit a gator mouth real nice.
Yeah. You don't really have to worry about that here.
I pay attention to that stuff real quick.
I hear you.
So talk to me on your guide service, man. So tournament fishing there. You're a firefighter. Thank you very much for that.
Appreciate that.
And then you have your guide service going here. Talk to us about your guide service.
Yeah, well, I've been guiding I started guiding initially on Caddo Lake. Mainly because I didn't want to give up any of my juice on Lake of the Pines. So I live about 20 minutes from this lake. I've literally fished here my entire life.
Man.
So I started guiding exclusively on Lake of the Pines, 6 years ago. And just for bass, I don't do crappie fishing yet. I feel like I need to start moving that direction, but bass fishing's my passion. And I like seeing people catch the bass of their lifetime. That's nothing better than having an 8-year-old kid that's never been bass fishing before, and he catches an 8-pounder, with 10-foot line out on a Cinco. It's just, that's what I like. I like to teach people. I like to show them, just pass on what I've been taught.
Yes, sir.
And pass it on to everybody else. And Lake of the Pines flies under the radar from Lake Fork, because Lake Fork's the destination lake.
I was gonna say it's just down the road that way. It's not too far.
So we usually have it all to ourselves over here, and I know, like, again, it's 20 minutes from the house. I don't have to make a big drive, and then I'm comfortable enough with Pines that if Plan A is not working, I can figure out a Plan B on the fly, and not, because I want my people to catch fish. I'm not gonna drive you to Sam Rayburn or somewhere, be your guide, and I haven't been there in 6 months. That's just not my style. So, but yeah, it's a fun gig. I really enjoy it, and just basically being in the fishing industry like you are, it's just a passion, and you just want to share it.
So when taking folks out there, your website, is that the main place that you take, or do you do phone? How do people get a hold of you for the guide service?
So my website brings a lot of people. I've had clients from Chicago, Illinois, Iowa, all over the place. Most of my clients seem to be from the Dallas-Fort Worth area and Arkansas. But that's my primary. But then I've got social media. I've got a YouTube channel, which is Brian Vickery Fishing. Instagram, Brian Vickery Fishing. Basically, my first name, last name, fishing.
Yep.
And you're going to find me somewhere. So
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's what we did as well.
Yeah.
So, and that's your website, brianvickeryfishing.com?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. We'll make sure we get that stuff on the video here. I'll get it in the comments also on the post, folks. That way you can get a hold of Brian. And the thing that you just said is how this thing flies under the radar. Dude, that is exactly number one what we're about, in the kayak game, is the fact that we can exploit bodies of water that a lot of guys can't.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's, it ends up being those that are real close by to some of the bigger names and everything.
Yeah.
And it's just because they don't get pressure.
And I mean, there's some big fish in this lake. Like my personal best is a 1234
out of this lake.
Out of this lake. So and you're in the
12.
Yeah, 1234. So if you're in the spring, it takes 30 pounds plus to win a tournament here on a 5-fish stringer. So
wow,
this is a big fish lake. So you guys are going to have a lot of fun.
And that's one of the things that I can tell you. Coming from Colorado, dude, we have no grass, anywhere. Even on the shore, there's no grass. There's small patches, but it's everything we do up there's a lot of finesse fishing, a lot of smaller baits. If we go out 70 some odd inches, it can win deals. I won, to give you an idea, in a smallmouth, a 17-inch fish is probably about 3 pounds. I won big bass on a tournament with a 17-and-a-quarter-inch smallmouth once.
Wow.
And it just tells you that we have a lot of pressure out there. So when you're talking this stuff, man, 12-pounders, 8-pounders, 6-pounders, dude, and I don't even know if other guys that are watching this would know what, what that equates to in inches, out there. But especially this time of year.
24-inch fish, that'll put you.
Oh yeah, that would we would certainly be cashing a check on a bag of those.
And y'all are hitting it right. I mean, I think this lake is getting ready to bust wide open. I mean, we caught, I think the biggest fish I caught today was 7 pounds, and it was on a frog. So
no kidding.
We caught a lot of 4s, a lot of 5s, and they're just, some of them didn't have a mark on them. They didn't have any bloody tails. They're just now coming in. So y'all are. I think y'all are going to have a hell of a time here.
Setting up at the right time.
Exactly.
Well, let's hope, man. Let's hope. And folks, absolutely, if you're coming down to this neck of the woods and there isn't a tournament coming up in there, get a hold of this guy. This is the guy you want, especially if people that are watching this. We're bass fishermen, all right? That's what we do. This guy gets it, man. That's what he is, and he's going to help put you on, an amazing time out here at Lake of the Pines. If you can't make this tournament, then yes, absolutely. BrianVickeryFishing.com. Go check him out there. Listen, man, I can't thank you enough for taking the time out of your day like this and chatting with a couple guys here, and then of course into our entire group here at the All-American Kayak Series. We were very thankful when we saw our schedule and we noticed what time Joshua Booth, our tournament director, when he set us up for these, we all kind of started grinning, going, "Man, this could be something special." Yep. So to hear you back that up, man, that means quite a bit. We're excited, and hopefully we can put some stuff down here. So
it'll be exciting to see, man. I wish I had like a weigh-in, like where you could actually bring some across the fit.
I'll show you when we get off here. Tourney X. You can actually go to the website and you can see the stuff live happening, on scene there, and then you'll just have to do the conversion from inches to pounds on the whole deal there.
Well, I mean, fishermen are good about that. That's a 5-6 pounder right there, man.
Yeah, especially if we hold it right
real close.
That's right. Awesome. Well, listen, man, thank you so very much. We appreciate it. You taking the time again. And folks, True Patriot Outfitters All-American Kayak Series, smash the subscribe button. That's what we need. That's going to help us. Get out, check out Brian Vickery Fishing on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Smash his subscribe button and follows and likes. This is how it's the best way we can support this whole thing we're doing out there. So, as always, guys, tight lines, be safe.